Dahl, and I graduated in 2015.
I'm Emma Hyde, graduated the same year.
And my favorite memory, but also has a twinge of the sadness, was probably getting to work alongside Mark Anderson, who we lost in 2014.
We were the last class that he got to teach. He was an amazing teacher. It was such a pleasure to be able to have any sort of his knowledge in our brains. Yeah, he was great.
Name's Ian Graham. I graduated in 1988. We were second class to graduate with the Algonquin Times. Back then we smoked in our classrooms, which was pretty bizarre, and almost everyone smoked. We went suddenly from typewriters to computers, which was amazing. Someone who has to be remembered, we had a photojournalism teacher, Marilyn Mickelson, who taught every one of us how to use a 35mm SLR like a genius, and then print black and white like crazy. It was a very hands-on paper. It was a hell of a lot of fun, and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hi, my name is Dee Wright. I was Underwood when I was here. I graduated in 2007. My favorite Algonquin memory, it's hard to pick because there's a lot of them. I was managing editor during the strike of 2006, and we kept the paper running anyway, without Joe and Julie and Ralph, even though we would run out rough copies to the picket line and have them look at them. But I think my favorite memory was when we went to a panel discussion at Carleton about journalistic integrity. And the Carleton students brought up a story about pot smoking students. And they asked us if we would run it. And I said no. And they said, why? Because it's too controversial? And I said no, because there's not enough sources in it. And that made me laugh. And because I knew Joe would be proud, and a lot of us tried hard to make him proud.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ferguson.
I'm Chad Willett.
We're graduating in 2017
And our favorite moment
so far.
would be the time we found chocolate in the Times office. We were like part of the senior editorial staff.
It was a late night. I think we were editing that night, and it was just not going well. And it was right before Easter.
Yeah, so we found some chocolate, and we decided it was as much ours as it was the advertising students, as bad as that sounds. So we ate quite a bit, threw it at each other, played a couple of games.
And then we found these bunny ears for the promo stuff, so we were wearing those and taking pictures of it, and it just kind of ended up in hysterics.
Robert Janelle, 2006. So, back in 2005, our social issues page was all about stories relating to marijuana. And this was back in 2005 when it wasn't quite as okay as it is now to do this. And we had good articles, but the problem was we didn't have enough copy to completely fill the page. So the section editor figures the solution to this is that we need more art. So he makes everybody in the room turn out their pockets. By the end of that, we've got this pile of weed paraphernalia. We've got stacks of rolling papers, bongs, pipes, one-hitters all over the place, and think of a whole bunch of photos to fill up the page.
I'm Chelsea Lau. I graduated 2016, and I was layout editor for the Algonquin Times.
I'm Alana Reimer, and I graduated the same year, and I was managing editor of the Times.
Alana, what was your favorite memory?
I had a lot of favorite memories, but I loved all of us getting together on Thursdays for production day, and just how we all just worked together and got that done. I also loved our late night copy editing. That's where I fell in love with editing and sort of realized that was a passion of mine. What about you, Chelsea?
Well, I also loved our Thursday production days, but more so because of our themes. So our Hawaiian Day and our Plaid Day and our 90s Day. We had a lot of fun on Times, and I definitely miss it.
Hi, I'm Andrew Carver. I graduated in 1993 when Bob Lukes and Steve Forster were still running the program. And I guess one memory I really have is that I interviewed some members of the support staff who are picketing outside the college over some sort of issue. And one of the guys I quoted, he used some pretty salty language that got into the story. I think Bob didn't really care for the 4 little words.
Hi, I'm Christine Roy from 2015. That's the year I graduated. And my favorite memory of the Algonquin Times is a little bit of a sad part to it, but it was right around the time Mark Anderson passed away, and also right around the time that we had the attack at the War Memorial here in Ottawa. That same day, we had a big, huge power outage on campus. It was actually the whole area was out of power. So it was very scary at first. Some people were going around saying it was a terrorist attack, but the editorial team for the Algonquin Times had to go and work on that memorial page. So really hoping our laptops wouldn't die out before the power came back on. Very good time. So sad, but still very enjoyable to have people to work with like that.
Hey, my name is Roy McDonald Goche, and I graduated in the class of 2014. Now, this entire night, I had different professors, different students, faculty, whatnot, coming up to me and reminiscing about all the times that we had at the Algonquin Times, and they asked me to pick a specific memory. I don't think I want to do exactly a memory, but just say what my favorite, or who my favorite people were in the program. I don't think Joe and Julie get enough recognition. Ralph certainly does. I mean, he's a beauty. We've all seen him in action. But Joe and Julie, when you first meet them, they have very strong personalities. But the more that you get to know them, the more you realize that they're here to make sure that you learn, you grow, you excel, and they really want to nurture you in a safe and comfortable environment. Mind you, we've all experienced production day. We know how crazy that is. But I just wanted to come by and just say how appreciative I was for the two of them. They definitely stepped in where certain people did not. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can attest to that. So just wanted to say thanks to Joe, Julie, and Ralph for being so great. Thanks.
I'm Josh Marquez.
I'm Courtney Edgar.
And we haven't graduated yet.
We're going to be graduating this spring of 2017. And our favorite memory of our time with Algonquin Times is this last weekend when we went to an amazing event in Toronto called Connect that explored the future of journalism through digital stuff.
Our first year was hard, getting to know everybody, but after you get over that hump, you know everybody, and you learn to love your class. You learn to love the people around you, and you want to do more things with them. You want to make them part of your life.
And you feel like Joe and Julie are your family, like your mom and your pop?
My name's Karen Kavanaugh, and I graduated in 1995. Seems like a long time ago, but there's people here that are older than I am and have done this before I did. I was on the advertising side of the program, and I remember it was early on in the computer days where we used computers to do the production and ads for the Algonquin Times. I was the sales manager of the Algonquin Times, and one thing I found very interesting, other than motivating my team, is that I had to take all the legacy accounts. And some of the accounts were less glamorous than others, even in the heyday of newspaper advertising. And I had to go to a sex shop to get an ad from a legacy client to put into the paper. That was an interesting experience. I learned a lot from the Algonquin Times. I made a lot of close friends, and I will always look fondly back on my time at Algonquin and in the advertising program on the Algonquin Times.
So my name is Kelly Rosler, and I graduated in 2004. And working on the Times was an incredible experience. I can't really pinpoint one memory in particular. It's really just the sum of the time we spent working in the Times office, coming together as colleagues, as friends. We spent a lot of really late nights and long days, but it was all completely worth it. Every other Thursday, when we would go down to the shipping area to pick up our copies of the Times, and we would lug them around and we would deliver them, and it was just such a labor of love. And we just had an amazing time doing it, and I can't think of a better way to enter the industry. It was a great way to get started and to really get an idea of what we would be facing out in the work world.
My name is Julia Vajdeniuk. I graduated in 2014. My fondest memory is I was covering this country show, and I loved country music at the time and still do. And I got this really, really good interview and story. And when it came to editing it, I remember getting into a very, very passionate debate with Joe about editing and sitting down and going through it because I really, really cared about this story. And I actually ended up storming out of his office, screaming and angry. But I ended up getting the front page story that week, and I think that was because I was super passionate about what I was writing about, and he finally saw for once that I actually cared about something rather than brushing it off. Because up until that point, I really didn't care about a story as much as I cared about that one. And that was my most fond memory because I really worked hard for it, and I stood up for what I believed in, and I ended up getting front page.
My name is Fraser Needham. I graduated the class of 2000, and I think I might be the only person that actually has a parent, or actually my stepmom graduated from the program, I believe, maybe 98, which is, her name is Sheila Needham, so that's how I kind of heard about it. So I don't think anyone else has had that, or maybe they have, but anyway, I'll stick to that part of the story. So yeah, I had some great experiences here, met some really nice people. We had a close class. Steve Forrester was very good to us. He had a lot of experience, a lot of good stories. It's unfortunate that he got sick a few years later because he was a very active musician and guy when we had. And also, we had a guy called Mick O'Reilly that came over from the Sun for a year. And although I thought I would actually butt heads with him because I ended up working for when I went to Saskatchewan, eventually working for the Saskatchewan NDP and was involved in politics. And I can tell you he's not an NDP person. I really enjoyed him actually. He was a good editor and taught us a lot about the industry and that. So I thought we were blessed, and I mean the program was good. Everybody I know that's come out of it has been quite successful, and nothing but good times at the Algonquin Times and Algonquin College.
My name is Nicole McCormick. I will be graduating in 2017. I think I have so many memories with the Times in the past year, but I think one of my favorite memories was in the Times office. All three of the editors, we had all gone crazy from production week, and we had found a stash of Easter candy. And we found some bunny ears, and we decided to put it on and raid the stash, throw candy at each other, and Snapchat it. And it didn't really sit well with the ad students. They weren't too happy about it, but we had a good time, and it kind of helped us blow off steam. And one more I kind of want to say is the second best part about being involved with the Times was just walking around the school and seeing students actually read the paper. Seeing the students actually interact with it and read it and comment on it was really, that's why we do it, and that was pretty much the best part of it for me.
So I came to Algonquin College in 1998, and I had bleached blonde hair, I had earrings in both ears, and Bob Lux was the coordinator of the program at the time. And he pulled me aside and he looked at me and said, here's what you gotta do. You gotta cut your hair, you gotta take all that shit out of your ears, and then people will take you seriously. So I did that, and that's how I went through the rest of college.
Day 237. I have infiltrated the ranks of the journalism students. They suspect nothing.
Hi, my name is Ross Brown. I graduated in 1987. I was in the founding year of the Algonquin Times, and all I really remember from that first year of the paper was that all of us were really, really terrified of what it was we were doing, because we didn't have previous years on which to look back and see how it was done. So we would go out and what was happening in the college? What sort of photos did we want to have? How did we want to lay it out? And it was back in the days when our first year, we were still using manual typewriters, and we didn't get a computer until later on. So everything was new. and it scared the hell out of us.
Had a fabulous time at the Algonquin Times. Bob Laux, little grumpy. Steve Forrester, great professor. Fabulous memories that I will hold close forever.
Okay, good evening. My name is Bernard Potvin. I was a student of the journalism program here at Algonquin from 1988 to 1990. Being here tonight, I feel like I never left. Just reminiscing with my fellow students and instructors. And here at the observatory, which was formerly Burt's Bar, spent a lot of time in here. This was my first post-secondary course out of high school, and I was able to form a lot of good personal and professional relationships that still stand to this day, some 28 years later, for which I'm very grateful. Stepping in here to a building that's named after Philip Killeen, well, I had a chance to sit down with Philip Killeen on many occasions while a student in the journalism program here at Algonquin. Not only did I form friendships and professional relationships with people in the journalism program, but also people in the advertising program who also worked at the Algonquin Times. Friendships, I actually have stood in some of their weddings of people in the advertising program that work with us in the journalism program. So for that, I'm very grateful. We were just talking about some of the interviews we'd done for the publication. Off the top of my head, I interviewed then President Randy Sexton of the Ottawa Senators, who's now currently a Stanley Cup winner this past season with the Pittsburgh Penguins as Director of Amateur Scouting. At that time, those years, they were trying to drum up support to get an NHL franchise here in the nation's capital. And I had a chance to sit down with Randy Sexton and do a story for the Algonquin Times. Dave Steen, an Olympian, won a bronze medal at the 86 Olympics. I interviewed him in '89 for the Algonquin Times, and I appreciate the time he took and what I learned about that athlete. Lauren Elliott, who still tours for Canada, comedian, performed here in the cafeteria at Algonquin College. I interviewed him for the Algonquin Times. Those are some of the more, I guess, famous interview subjects that I interviewed for the Algonquin Times. But one of the memories, too, that I also have of the Algonquin Times was when the publication was ceased because the faculty went on strike in 1990. And that really put a dent into the whole program. However, our program did put out a special strike issue during that time of labor unrest here at the Times, and that still sticks in my mind. As a matter of fact, there's a great photograph of a protest here at the college taken from the bridge that leads to this bar. We took a shot from that window over that, well, not myself, but somebody else, but I was with that person to get this shot, and that was used as a front page photo. So that really sticks in my mind. Those first years at Algonquin, I came back twice since to pick up other certificates, were some of the best years of my life. And I look back now to see how formative they were to me on both a professional and personal level. And I will be forever grateful. So thank you to the students and faculty of Algonquin College, but also to the journalism and advertising students of 1988 to 1990. I'll be forever grateful. Cheers. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joe Banks. I'm the coordinator of the journalism program at Algonquin College, and I'm here on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the Algonquin Times, which is a learning vehicle for the program. I've been here for 16 years. I came from Manotick before I joined Algonquin College. Manotick Messenger I ran, but my journalism career extended 20 years before that. And I don't really want to talk about that because tonight is a night for a party and for celebration. And for all of the generations of journalism students who worked on the Algonquin Times to come together, to talk to each other, and simply to party. I mean, how many times in our lives do we ever get together and party, right? There's always a reason for us to get together. There's a funeral, there's a marriage. But tonight, it's all about the Algonquin Times and 30 years of history. Bob Louts was here tonight. Bob Louts is really the reason why I'm here. He founded the Algonquin Times with Pat Dare, and the reason why this is a special newspaper is because it's supported by the Students Association. The Algonquin Students Association has supported this newspaper financially for 30 years. There's no other newspaper, campus newspaper in Canada, that has supported its student union newspaper for that long. There's no precedent. This Algonquin Times is special. Somebody needs to know that, and maybe it's going to be you, that this newspaper, this campus newspaper, has been supported by students over 30 years through the Students Association. I'm so lucky and I'm so privileged every day to be a man who is able to work with youth and students, and for me to share what I've gone through in my years as a student or as a newspaper publisher and editor, and to sponge that out onto the students. And I'm still doing it today here in 2016. I'm blessed, I'm privileged, and so fortunate that I'm here and working on the Algonquin Times with the students. God bless you all.